This is Nadir Shah in Chicago, and you're watching my channel, Knowledge for Quality of Life. Friends, I welcome those who have recently joined the channel. Before any further delay, I wanted to talk to you, as I promised last week, that I'm going to be talking about three issues which we'll be dealing pretty soon, because we are pretty soon will be entering into the cold and winter months. And one of the things which is we are going to see is cold viruses, flu viruses, COVID viruses. COVID is still active with different variants, and RSV. So all these viruses are going to be pretty active in cold months, and there is a reason for it. It's not by fluke. There is a reason for it, and I wanted to share some thoughts today with you, the way I understood over the years and benefited out of it, uh, and why it's happening this way. So I'm going to share some thoughts, some scientific facts, some data to highlight so that you guys can appreciate that how the nature works, and this education which we call that we acquire to understand the nature, the God's creation in a better way, and we can help ourselves accordingly. So remember that these all viruses are active, because the main point of entry for these viruses in human body is either through eyes, nostrils of the nose, or through mouth. The first thing they lodge in the larynx area, and then they proceed to the lungs area. And I'm going to be looking at a little bit more closely, because the technology is available to us in understanding that how things are working and what are the things at play. So I want you to highlight those things in front of you, and I'll be including all the links in the description. So folks who wants to take to the next level, just like me, they can dig it up more and understand and increase their or enhance their understanding. So let me share my screen. And first screen I'm going to be sharing with you is this. What you are seeing here is seasonal variation of vitamin D levels. Now, if you look at that, it's from August to August. Okay, this is a huge study done, epidemiological study, and it's published by Grassroots Health. And this is the vitamin D level on the y-axis in nanograms per milliliter and in nanomoles per liter on the other side, so that folks who are familiar with nanomoles per liter in their respective country, they can understand what we are talking about. Remember that 1 nanograms per milliliter equals to 2.5 nanomoles per liter. Now, if you look at here that, we are entering into the October, and we took a nosedive here from the coming out of the summer months, and our vitamin D level is taking a nosedive. And then in January, and then February, and then March, and then it's going to go back up. And then we are entering into the next year's summer season. So the bulk of the population here is in this zone, in this area, okay, where our vitamin D is pretty low. Okay. Now, remember that, as we said before, and I've discussed it, that vitamin D is an immune modulator. What does it mean? It impacts our own immune system. So you can have two types of immune system. One is adaptive immune system, which we get by vaccination, of various viruses gets injected and, artificially boost our immune system. That's the adaptive immune system. Other immune system is a natural immune system, which we call innate immune system. So vitamin D is a prohormone which enhances our innate immune system, which is our body's defense mechanism. Remember that. So it means that, in this area where our vitamin D is pretty low, we are at lowest immune system, and our defensive power in those months are going to be pretty low. So anything invades our body in the form of viruses or bacteria, you know, the fighting capability of the immune system is going to be pretty low because our D status is low. Okay. For those folks who are not taking any D supplement or they are not keeping their D level at a desired optimum range. Okay. So remember this thing. Now, again, I'm going to come to this another slide. I wanted to share that, when I said that, these viruses enter to our lungs and there is a ACE2 receptor, we call it angiotensin-converting enzyme cells. These are receptors which takes the entry of any virus, okay? And it looks like this. It looks like this. So this is and these ACE2 receptors are available in different parts of the body, and it's commonly available in lungs as well. So this ACE2 receptor has a little bit enlarged, like a sort of an umbrella type thing. If you see this green color, and this is the example shown here, the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And this spike protein lodges into this umbrella type, and it tries to unlock it. Okay. Now this ACE2 receptor receives the strength from your vitamin D status. And I'm going to be sharing with you pretty soon, another slide. And it tries to unlock it. Now, if the ACE2 receptor is weak because of the D deficiency, of course, it will be successful in unlocking. And once it gets unlocked, the mutation happens, and that's what you hear that, person starts getting more viral load. Okay. The severity increases. Now, if you come here, and I wanted to share with you this strength of ACE2. As I said, that angiotensin-converting enzyme 2 cells is a simplified way to describe its overall role, but the relationship with vitamin D is bidirectional. Vitamin D deficiency can lead to overactivation of renin-angiotensin system. Now, this RAS system there are two things you have to understand. One is a RAS and one is a ACE2. ACE2 is a receptor. RAS is something that, it's a system. It's a hormone type of system which balances all the electrolytes in our system. It keeps all the inflammation. It keeps all the pressure in check. It's a part of the natural system. So exacerbating COVID-19 system by negatively impacting ACE2 protective function. So if ACE2 cells, now stronger ACE2 activity is facilitated by adequate vitamin D here. It says stronger ACE2 activity means the way nature has designed the ACE2 activity, ACE2 cells activity is received by the vitamin D status of our own system. So if you have an optimum vitamin D, it means that your S2 activity is going to be pretty at optimum level. Now, if it's optimum level, it's not going to overload your RAS system, okay? Because when the virus attacks on the system, your RAS is going to go haywire because of your weakened ACE2 activity, because of the D deficiency. Also, all these things are interrelated together, so it's a cascading events. So you have to understand this thing. So now RAS is insufficient vitamin D can lead to overactive RAS, which includes ACE2. That's what I just said. So if the D deficiency, if D is not sufficiently available in our system, it can overactivate our RAS system, and which includes the ACE2 as well. So now here, if you come, as I said, that RAS is a regulated part, at least by angiotensin converting enzyme cell 2. So it's a primary receptor. ACE2 is a primary receptor which receives any type of virus, okay? And that includes the SARS-CoV-2 as well, okay? Now, the study there are many studies. I'm going to be including this study done by Harvard. It's part of the study done in BMJ, British Medical Journal, of 11,000 participants. It confirmed that here it says acute respiratory infection are responsible for millions of emergency department visits in the United States, said Camargo, who is a professor of emergency medicine at Harvard Medical School. These results could have major impact on our health system and also support efforts of fortified foods with vitamin D, especially in population with high levels of D deficiency. Now we know that there is no food on the planet which has adequate amount of D which can take our D levels at optimum. So either sunlight or supplement. These are the two ways which I have talked many times before. So let me stop share my screen here. So this concept of having a optimum vitamin D so that your AS2 cells are strong, which can give enough strength to your RAS system, which can control everything and avoid any of your ACE2 or RAS system go haywire under the attack of these viruses. So basically, by providing adequate amount of vitamin D to your system and keeping that level at a decent height, at optimum level, you are making sure that your innate immune system is working at its peak the way nature has designed it. Okay. Now, if we don't do it, then probably our natural immune system, which is an innate immune system, may get compromised under this various viruses attack. Now, I can tell you my experience since 2016. Before that, I was deficient. I said in my previous vlogs, and anytime I used to get flu during the winter months, I would be knocked out, for 2-3 days, and very severely, and eventually I had to take antibiotic, even though it's a virus thing. But my frontal and maxillary sinuses would get clogged with the fluid, and infection would happen, and my doctor used to give me a Keflex, which is an antibiotic. So I was taking antibiotic before. Since I fixed my D at an optimum level, since 2016, I never had any kind of a severe flu. Now, it doesn't mean that I would not get flu because of my vitamin D. Flu doesn't care what your vitamin D is. The virus is gonna get inside your body, and it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. And if your D is at optimum and decent level, your innate immune system is gonna get activated and fight with the flu, with the system. So now if I get flu, or any type of virus, I would feel it that, something is there. Like I get a little bit scratchy throat, little sniffles for a day or two, and it will subside. No medication I have to take it. This is my personal experience, including my wife, including my kids. And this is my mom, who was 99 and passed last year. She was getting flu vaccine every year. In 2018, she had a tested flu positive. And when doctor calls me that, your mom is flu positive and we are going to treat her with Tamiflu, I asked my mom's primary care that run the X-ray of the chest because, I wanted to make sure that, being her lungs are clean, because, they say that, if elderly gets flu, chances are that they will get pneumonia, because there is a chance that fluid will get into the lungs, and eventually it can create a cascading events. So in the evening, when the radiologist cleared the X-ray and doctor calls me, she said that I've never seen anything like this in my 25 years of practice. I said, is everything okay? And she said that it's a good news because your mom's lungs are crystal clear, not a drop of water, even though she is flu positive. And I told doctor that, it seems like it's working. And doctor said that, what's working? I said, well, I put my mom a while back, on 2000 IU daily, and her vitamin D level is 80 nanograms per milliliter, and we are maintaining that. Because I read a study a while back written by Director of Vitamin D Council, Dr. John Cannell, and he did an experiment before the flu season to the assisted living center seniors, and he gave 1000 IU to everyone just to see that if they get flu, how they fare in the flu season. And surprisingly, he said that, flu, some people got flu, but, the severity was not found that much. Okay. So that's what we are trying to protect ourselves. By no means I'm trying to advocate that, you guys shouldn't get vaccinated. It's individual's choice. I'm not against any vaccine, as I said before, but we have to make an informed decision. That's all I'm saying, with the true science. Okay, not the science which people are putting together for their benefit. Right? What the actual science, how body works, how human life works, based on the knowledge we have at our fingertips, and based on the true science. So I hope that you learned something from it, and I personally benefited a whole lot, and that's how I'm trying to share my experiences, because I've gone through 3 levels of knowledge, as I spoke in the past. That I heard something, I read something, I really digged up, researched it, and I have implemented on my life and my family's life, and I have seen tremendous results over time. And this year is going to be another testing year for me and my loved ones in my family, and we'll see. And I'll update you accordingly. So until then, this winter season is going to be active. I hope you guys are all safe, and best of your health. See you next week. Bye.